Hello guys, when you work with Laravel API, how do you generate the documentation for that? In this video I will show you a new package with a new approach how to do that pretty quickly, without changing too much of your code. Probably most of you are familiar with Swagger or OpenAPI, and I have an article how to generate that from the doc blog comments on your code. So this is an article in our Quick Admin Panel blog. I will link that in the description below as well. But that is pretty complex to do with a lot of things to take care of and structures like this to be found. Then there's a bit easier way with a package called Scribe, which I have a video about as well, and I will link that again in the description below. So it generates this HTML page, again from doc blog comments, but a bit more simple. So you need to have something like this. So in any case, some generators of the API documentation work with the doc blog comments in your code, which requires extra work for you to add those comments manually usually. This package, a new package called Laravel Docs Generator, simply this one from Rakuten Tech, it works with your controllers and form requests directly without requiring any comments. So I've tried it out. Did it work? Let's see in this video. All you need to do to generate your API documentation is install that package, publish the config, and that's it. You can run artisan command lrd generate or go directly to request docs and it will dynamically generate the HTML. How it works, the pattern, it analyzes your routes API, analyzes the controllers, analyzes the form request class with the rules of validation, and then generates something like this, the HTML page, with all the routes on the left, and each route is described here on the right, and everything is clickable, and then there's search on top. Pretty cool, right? And I've tried it on 3 different projects from my Laravel Examples project. Maybe you don't know, I have laravelexamples.com, a free project where I gathered some examples about Laravel, and there are 76 open source Laravel projects. So I've tried 3 small of them to generate their API. How did it do? The first attempt was on this project parking system from a YouTube channel demo, and the result is this. So I've installed the package. As the documentation said, I published the config, and this is what was generated dynamically. The routes API are pretty simple, so get, post, and something like that, so it's not too many of routes. And if we go to the controller, like reservation controller for example, there are form requests being used, which is exactly what is required by that package. We go to the form request, and there are different validation rules. And all of that is in the API documentation. So we have, for example, post API reservation, and it lists the middlewares, the attributes, and the rules. That documentation is kind of for Laravel developers more than front-end people, by the way, because if you give that documentation to the front-end team, to the front-end developers or mobile developers, they wouldn't understand that much what that means or these rules. It's just rewriting everything from the form request. So it may be helpful, but not doing the 100% job of API documentation, which would be consumed by anyone. And again, I'm doing an honest review here. I'm not praising the package or saying that it's good or bad. I just say what I've noticed. So this is not ideal scenario, but it works. Also, I've tried it on 2 more projects, and then it threw an error. I will show you why and how. So Recipe Manager is another project open source which has an API, and when I launched the LRD generate on that project, this was the result, the error, attempt to read property ID on null. So in this case, in form requests, the author uses this food, which is accessible, by the way, by Magic, by Laravel Magic from the controller, but that package doesn't recognize this food. It's too much magic, as I'm jokingly saying, for this package, for the API doc. So if that package encounters something which it cannot parse, then it would just throw an error and wouldn't proceed. So that's one error I encountered. And also I've tried the package on a 3rd project, which is Crater. Crater is pretty popular invoicing app, and it also has its API. So when I launched LRD generate on that one, this was the error. Customers controller create does not exist. And why? I've opened the project itself, the Crater. In the routes API, they have route resource customers, but not all methods of customers controller are implemented. So customers controller has index, has store, has show, update, and delete. But there's no create method, and route resource implies that there should be a create method. So in all fairness, the Crater project should have done either route resource accept create and edit because API endpoints do not have visual create or edit form, or there's a separate route API resource, and then you don't need that except. And then that API generator would work. So that's another example how that package doesn't really perform well with various cases which are not ideal in the project. So for some projects, it will work and generate the documentation. For others, maybe there need to be changes in the code to make it work if it is possible. So it's mostly a case of try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. What do you think? What package do you use to generate the documentation for the API? Or maybe you want to generate the API itself. For that, we have a tool inside of our quick admin panel com. So for admin panel generator, inside of every CRUD, inside of every menu item, there's a checkbox generate API CRUD. If we go to view code, it generates app HTTP controllers API, v1 admin projects API, so the controller with form requests. So for our generated API, that documentation package should work. So if you want to generate something like this, check out our quickadminpanel.com, and by doing that, you support this YouTube channel, so I would shoot more free videos for you guys here. And see you guys in other videos.